Senator Mark Kelly is firing back after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said he was targeting both his military rank and his pension for being part of a video telling service members they can refuse illegal orders. The Arizona Democrat, who spent 25 years in the Navy and completed 39 combat missions in addition to 4 missions to space, told MS Now's Rachel Maddow he will not be silenced.
I'm never going to back down from these guys. I'm going to continue to speak out. I'm going to continue to do my job. And as much as I can, highlight how wrong these people are and how outrageous this is. These are dangerous words. If he's successful in getting me to not speak out against him or the government or Pete Hegseth or whoever and not do my job, I mean, what does that say to all these other retired and ex-service members? What rights do they have anymore?
Joining me here in studio, Paul Rieckhoff, an independent national security, veterans affairs, and political analyst, and host of the Independent Americans podcast. It's good to see you, Paul. Secretary Hegseth cites a couple of articles. Article 133, conduct unbecoming an officer and a gentleman, and 134, targeting behavior bad for order and discipline. Is that what the senator did?
No. But that's the catch-all when you can't find anything specific that you can
133, 134.
Conduct unbecoming is the anything and everything you want to subject to interpretation and throw at him. And I think that's really what they're doing here. They're trying to throw the kitchen sink at him. They're trying to muck him up. They're trying to silence him. And what they're actually doing is elevating him. I think this is a really important defining moment for the Democratic Party because they've been looking for a leader. Now they have one who's a decorated veteran, who's an astronaut, who's a strong voice, who's punching back. And he's been all over the place. He's on The Daily Show. He's doing morning shows. And he's got backup in Gabby Giffords, who's also extremely effective here.
And extremely popular.
Extremely popular. So in some ways, they're doing the Democrats a favor here. They're helping them define a leader who's now emerging as a very viable presidential candidate. And he's not backing down. I was in the green room with him last night before we did Maddow's show, and he's going straight into this, and he's leaning in hard. And I think he's a very formidable adversary for Trump, and especially because he can call him out on his own lack of military service. And you're seeing the Democrats kind of coalesce around that message, calling him, Mr. Bone Spurs, and the fact that he's a draft dodger. They're going after that part of him, and I think that's going to get under Trump's skin.
Is there any iota of any inkling to you that Mark Kelly will ever back down from this?
No. I mean, this guy went to space, right? He got shot at as a combat pilot. I've been around him personally. I've seen it. His entire family is built out of steel. I mean, I've met his daughter. I've met his brother. They've been on my show. I mean, this is a true American patriot. And if there's a silver lining here, it's that we're elevating a voice to the world, to the outside world, that is not Trump. We need an alternative narrative about what it means to be American, especially on January 6th. And Mark Kelly is a good representation of the best of our country, not just to America, but to the outside world.
If you want to talk about proper behavior and procedures, USA Today notes that demoting Kelly requires an administrative process known as officer grade determination, which by law makes its decisions based on an officer's conduct while on active duty. Wouldn't that prohibit this?
Yes. I mean, Kelly's not in the chain of command. He's no longer on active duty. He's been retired for some time now. And that's why they picked Kelly in large part, because he's the only retiree out of the group of Democrats who put this video forward. But it does open a much larger Pandora's box far beyond politics. There are 2 million military retirees in America. And if they can come after Kelly for something like this, they can come after any retiree for something they posted on Facebook or something they said in an open meeting. And that's the intention here, is to not only silence Kelly, but to have a chilling effect on opposition, especially veterans who are uniquely effective in pushing back on Trump and Hegseth.
You mentioned how he's leaning in, and he released this video not only about his own service record, but also that of his parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, all of whom served in uniform, and pointed to the president's, as you said, lack of service. Take a listen.
Donald Trump, he deferred the draft 5 times because he had bone spurs. Look, not everyone has to serve in our military. I get that. But when you're going to question my patriotism and lecture me about duty to this country and threaten me with a court-martial, 4 generations of service to this country earns me the right to speak. 5 deferments earns nothing.
Do you think that even among members of the military or ex-military who might have voted for Donald Trump, and many of them did, that resonates with them?
Yes. I mean, it sounds like John McCain, right? It goes back to the older generation of what Republicans used to sound like. And I think this is going to hit hard, especially with independents. That's why when Kamala Harris was looking for a VP candidate that would appeal to independents, I recommended Senator Mark Kelly because he has this unique appeal. There's another point of this I think is really important. They're calling out the Trump administration and Trump himself for their hypocrisy. Let's go a bit deeper. Barron, his son, is of age. If he's so excited about Venezuela and he's so supportive of our military doing this adventurism all over the world, why isn't his own son going? Is it going to be another generation of Ivankas and Jared Kushners who cheer from the sidelines while our sons and daughters go and fight? This is a really important point. There's a new generation of chicken hawks in Washington. And if they're so in support of this war, why aren't their own kids going?
Paul Rieckhoff, it's always good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Happy New Year.